Okay, I'm really, really excited for this one. I have been wanting to read to you for a long time, but before I can, I have to explain some things. And it's hard for me because I'm the science person, and so I don't understand how history works. How, like, if something is being discussed about, like, what are its roots or why is this practice there? I understand archaeological evidence and then anything that they can find, and then remains of bones and things that are found with them, and how you put those pieces of the puzzle together. But when it comes to beliefs and practices, I think, some things they know and some things they don't. The same thing with science. And you have probably seen online things about Jesus was a mushroom, and I wouldn't call it, see, I don't know the words, not evidence, but things that allude to the fact that many of the world's religions may have actually been mushroom worship. And a lot of the practices revolve around the mushroom, and that a reference to God is a reference to the psychedelic experience. And so I was talking to a friend of mine who is very good at that sort of thing and that kind of research. And he contacted me one day and said, "Oh my God, I think that I have found some evidence that the rise of Sufism came from the same practice that happened around the world. And that is, before there was religion, there were different practices and belief systems in place, and they centered around the earth, and obviously the practice of using mind-altering substances, and the seasons, and the sun, and the moon, and the cycles of the earth, and paganism, and that kind of thing. And I know more about the rise of the Christian religion was more about power, political power. And when they would take over an area and want to spread Christianity, they were dealing with paganism. And they would adopt pagan practices into the religious practices to make it more palatable. Well, some religions weren't that kind. They just said, you practice this religion or we'll kill you. So my friend was saying that Sufism is actually an attempt by those who did not want to take on the beliefs of Islam. They still held to their earth-based practices. And so what they would do is cloak their discussions in poetry to God. And God is actually a mushroom, or the mushroom experience, or the psychedelic experience. And I was really kind of freaked out by that because I love Sufist poetry. And so I was first introduced to Sufist poetry in college, wasn't ready for it. And then I was given a book 15 years ago, fell in love with the book. And I kind of ignored the word God because I knew that God could be anything, any higher than you experience. And there was so much in Sufist poetry that didn't sound like a religious God. It sounded more like what I've experienced as holiness in my life. And it's why I've loved Sufist poetry. So when I read to you from this book, I want to ask you to keep this in mind. What do we do today? Because humans are human, no matter when they lived. And look at what we do today with the resurgence of the psychedelic experience and the mushroom experience. We write about it. We make videos about it. We want to hear other people talk about their experiences. We want to share our experiences. And if you are artistic, you feel driven to create art about it. And we're finding, we have pictures of that art, stained glass. I have some of that on my Instagram. And carvings and things that allude to the worship of psychedelic experiences. So why would they not write poetry about it, right? And they probably were, but once Islam took over and they could be killed for continuing that practice. They just put the word God in place of a mushroom. And that is, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying this is the theory that my friend is, and I've seen it now that I've researched it, I've seen that theory in a lot of places, that God is a psychedelic experience or a mushroom experience. So I am going to read poetry to you from this book. And wow, I have many. Look at all my bookmarks. This won't be the only time I read to you. I'll read a lot. I'll do many of these videos. So, as I read through this book again with that knowledge, I can see how some of it would allude to the things that I hear people say about psilocybin. And then there's others in here that I know are about Amanita. So I'll just start reading some to you. I'll probably read 3 of them to you this time. Oh, I'm so happy to be doing this. This one is my signature line on the forum. The sun never says. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. And this one is called The Seed Cracked Open. This one spoke to me. It used to be that when I would wake in the morning, I could say with confidence, what am I going to do today? But that was before the seed cracked open. Now I am certain there are 2 of us housed in this body, doing the shopping together in the market and tickling each other while fixing the evening's food. And now when I awake, all the internal instruments play the same music. God, what love mischief can we do for the world today? And that's, if you've ever had a mushroom, done a mushroom, had a mushroom experience, you feel like there's now the mushroom voice living inside you, and you don't feel like it's just you anymore. It's like, what can we do for the world today? If you've seen my videos on the mushroom voice, yeah. All right, and then this one. Stop calling me a pregnant woman. My master once entered a phase that whenever I would see him, he would say, how did you ever become a pregnant woman? And I would reply, you must be speaking the truth, but all of what you say is a mystery to me. Many months passed by in his blessed company. But one day I lost my patience upon hearing that odd refrain and blurted out, stop calling me a pregnant woman. And he replied, someday all the nonsense in your brain will dry up like a stagnant pool of water beneath the sun. Though if you want to know the truth, I can so clearly see that God has made love with you, and the whole universe is germinating inside your belly. And such wonderful words, such enlightening words, will take birth from you and be cradled against thousands of hearts. I read that, I was like, oh my God, I started this channel. And I have 3,000 subscribers. There's the thousands of hearts. So I'm sure these have meaning for you. They have to. It's crazy. One more? I don't want to stop. Get the blame straight. Understanding the physics of God and the indivisible nature makes every universe and atom confess, I am just a helpless puppet that cannot dance without the movement of his hand. Dear ones, the curriculum tonight is for the advanced and will get all the blame straight in the mental lawsuits that clog the brain. Hallelujah, baby. I want to keep reading. Okay, I'm going to stop reluctantly. Okay, one more. One more. it felt love. How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. Okay, I'll read some more soon. Oh, I'm not going to tell you the book yet because I don't want you to go buy it and read it. So let me read, like, let me do 2 more videos and keep it to myself. And then after 2 more videos, I'll tell you the book. It's like a surprise. It's like a treat, like a gift. And I don't want you to spoil the surprise because this is awesome. Okay, discuss amongst yourselves, please. This will be for my patrons first. And then in about a week, I'll release it to YouTube. And in the comments section, pick one of them and say how it relates to you, maybe, or whatever you want to talk about it. There's a lot I want to say, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to interpret these. I want to see what you have to say. So, okay, I stop here. Thanks for playing with me. I love you, beautiful people. Look at the description and see how you can engage with me. Come find me. Come play. I love you. Bye.